Today we're going to be learning about the Silk Road and how it linked the East and the West. Before we get into this lesson, it's important to know where the East and the West is. So when we say East, we are talking about the area around Europe. We're talking about the West, we're talking about Western Europe and Asia. So we're going to do this by looking specifically at the Song dynasty. In 960, a scholarly general named Zhao Kongyan reunited much of China and founded the Song dynasty. The Song dynasty ruled for 319 years. They faced a constant threat of invasion from the north. In the 1100s, the Song retreated south to the Huang River. They ruled in this location for another 150 years. In the late 1200s, the Mongols, invaders from the north, attacked and overthrew the dynasty. So in the 1200s, the dynasty ended. So that man you see pictured to the left, that is Zhao Kangyan. So the Song dynasty had many achievements. China's wealth and culture dominated East Asia even when its armies didn't. So even when armies weren't successful, their culture was. Under the Song, the Chinese economy expanded because of a few things. Some of those things are new improved farming methods, open border policy. It allowed a new type of faster growing rice to be imported from Southeast Asia. Farmers were now able to produce 2 crops a year because of the faster growing rice, which meant they were able to make more money off the crops that they were producing. One of those crops was for consumption. The other was excess to sell. So whatever they had extra, they would sell it. Some other achievements of the Song dynasty are that their society had surplus crops, which allowed people to pursue other things, such as commerce, so trading and participating in the market, learning, participation in the arts. As people became more educated, they developed new technologies. They improved the compass. There were shipbuilding innovations which allowed for even more trade, allowed for more travel and more exposure to other cultures. They created gunpowder, which allowed them to protect themselves as well as trade that resource to other areas of the world at the time. So there's a growth of trade. Under the Song dynasty, foreign trade flourished. Merchants arrived from land and sea, so they would travel with camels or donkeys or horses with products to trade over land, and they would also travel by ships over sea. Some of the countries that merchants came from included India, Persia, the Middle East. China's advancements in technology allowed for them to travel far and wide to trade goods in Southeast Asia and as far as East Africa. We're not going to watch this video in the video I'm creating for you, but I will make sure to link the slides so that you can watch it. You do need to watch the video. Please make sure you do that. And I'll also put the video in your should do additional resources. So advances in science and technology led to a golden age, which is a period of success and prosperity in China. China made large advances and breakthroughs in several categories, including science and technology, astronomy, agriculture, medicine, military technology. One thing that they created and improved upon was paper and paper money. That picture to the right is an example of some of the first Chinese ancient paper money. It was typically made from flattened and dried mulberry and hemp plant fibers. It allowed for easy record keeping. It promoted reading and writing. At this time in the world, most people do not know how to read, and it's still widely used today as a medium to keep and relay information, which just goes to show how innovative this creation was that we still use it today. Paper currency was issued by the Song. It was used by merchants to make trade easier and manage wealth. As you can imagine, if people are coming from all over the world and speaking different languages and have different currencies, it makes it more difficult to trade. So having a currency that different traders can use and communicate different prices and values with made things easier. It helped China to manage their growing wealth, and this idea of paper money was adopted by Europeans. Today, most countries only deal in paper currency. So again, this just shows how innovative this creation was that we still use it today. Porcelain was something that was traded in China that was critical to their growth. White ceramic made of clay minerals found only in China. China kept this technology secret so that merchants had to trade with China so that nobody else could recreate it in order to fill this highly demanded product. So they were controlling the market on porcelain so that they could be the ones to profit off of it. Today, people still call formal dishes china. So when you hear people speak of their good china, it's because porcelain was so high in demand that people just nicknamed it china after where it was produced. Woodblock printing is another technology that was created in China. To the left, you can see an example of what that printing would look like. It was created from carved wood that would create a page stamp of text that could be duplicated. So this was a new idea. We have books that are printed with many, many copies today. So that idea started here in China with woodblock printing. The technology evolved into movable type that allowed individual characters to be arranged and reused in pages of text. With this technology, China was able to print the first book in 868 Common Era. It also allowed written communication to be mass produced. So for the first time, people were able to read things widely across the world because it could be duplicated pretty quickly and easily compared to the time before this. Some of the first things to be printed in mass numbers were religious things, so things like Bibles or religious text and scripts. Gunpowder was another technology that advanced through the Song dynasty. It's an explosive powdery material made from a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. That's a picture of gunpowder on the right you see there. It was first used for fireworks and rockets, but as I'm sure you guys know because you're all very smart, it soon began to be used for weapons such as guns and cannons and is still used today for those purposes. Gunpowder revolutionized the way wars were fought forever. Again, we still use these things when we're fighting in wars. Another technology is the magnetic compass. This was used the Earth's magnetic pull to show direction on land for centuries before it was adapted by sailors for use at sea. So they used it over land while they were trying to navigate where they were going before they used it at sea to try to navigate where they're going. China became a sea power because they were some of the first to have this technology. So they were able to navigate, go around the world, know where they're going and how to get home. The compass became a navigational tool in the West, responsible for some of the most successful sea voyages in history. All right, so those are all of our notes for slides today. Now I need you to open up the document analysis on Canvas and answer the question, what items did Marco Polo trade? You'll also answer the supporting question, how did the Silk Road connect the East and the West? And what were the effects of that trade? So all of this will be in your guided notes today. I know there's usually a separate document to complete your activity for the day, but today it's going to be on your guided notes. If you have questions, ask 3 before you ask me. That means ask at least 3 of your classmates to help you before you ask me. If you guys still don't understand, of course, come and ask me. Happy sourcing.